let's just jump right in. Every once in a while, a trade goes down in the NFL that doesn't just make headlines, it completely changes the game. A move so big it can define the next 10 years for not one, but two entire organizations. And folks, we are smack in the middle of one of those moments.
It really all comes down to one question, doesn't it? What is a Super Bowl actually worth? Is it a couple of high draft picks? Or is it selling off your entire future for just one shot at glory?
Well, the Baltimore Ravens, a team known for being so careful, so patient with how they build their roster, they just shoved all their chips into the middle of the table. And believe me, the price they paid is one we're going to be talking about for years to come.
Okay, let's break down the nuts and bolts here, because you really need to see the details to get why this is so historic.
So here it is. The Ravens get an absolute monster, the 5-time Pro Bowl defensive end, Maxx Crosby. And what do the Raiders get in return? Oh, just the keys to their entire future. 2 first-round draft picks, one in 2026 and another in 2027. We are talking about top-tier, franchise-building assets for one of the most dominant guys in the league. And let's be crystal clear about this. This isn't just a big trade for the Ravens. It is the biggest trade in their entire history. For a team that has built its whole identity on drafting well and developing their own guys, this is a complete 180. And get this, in 31 years, their entire existence, the Ravens have never, not one single time, traded away a first-round pick for a veteran player. They didn't just break precedent here. They took the whole rulebook and lit it on fire. So you gotta ask, why? What on earth would make a team that's so famously conservative suddenly go all in like this? Well, it's a huge gamble, and it's all being driven by one thing: winning a championship right now.
It all starts with this number, just 30.
That's the number of sacks the Ravens defense managed to get in all of 2025, their worst pass rushing performance in 15 years. And look, it's simple. When you can't get to the quarterback, you don't win games. That's exactly why they ended up with a losing record, sitting at home watching the playoffs. And that is where Maxx Crosby comes in. He's not just some upgrade. He is a complete game changer for this defense. People around the league are calling him the most feared pass rusher in his prime since Terrell Suggs. For anyone who doesn't know, for Baltimore, that's like comparing a new painter to Picasso. It's a huge deal. And if you still need some convincing, just look at the stats. How about this number? 360. That's how many times Crosby has pressured the quarterback since 2019. But here's the crazy part. That number is 29 more than any other player in the entire league. He's not just part of the conversation for best pass rusher, he is the conversation. All right, now let's flip the coin. Let's look at this whole thing from the Raiders' point of view. Because while the Ravens are pushing for a title today, Vegas, they're cashing out and playing the long game. What we're seeing here is just two totally opposite philosophies clashing. The Ravens are sacrificing tomorrow for a shot at glory today. The Raiders are sacrificing today for the hope of building a dynasty tomorrow. It's win now versus build for later, plain and simple. And make no mistake, this isn't some minor retooling for Vegas. It's a full-on teardown. They've got a new coach, they just traded away their biggest superstar, and their veteran QB is probably on his way out the door. The Raiders are hitting that reset button, and they're hitting it hard. So, what does this get the Raiders in the short term? 2 first-round picks in the 2026 draft. And with one of those picks projected to be number 1 overall, they now have all the ammo they need to completely reshape this franchise. But it does make you wonder, how does a player this good, a guy like Maxx Crosby, even become available in the first place? Well, the story of how it all ended in Vegas is a little more complicated than you might think. So even with a knee injury, Crosby was playing like an absolute stud. But then, late in the season, the team put him on injured reserve. That move created a crack in the relationship, a rift that just couldn't be fixed. And that's what ultimately opened the door for this monster trade. So where does this leave these two teams? What does the future actually hold? Well, this one trade has sent them flying down 2 completely different tracks. We are truly watching a defining moment for both organizations. The Ravens have bet the farm on winning today. The Raiders are trying to plant seeds for tomorrow. The aftershocks from this trade are going to be felt around the entire league for a decade. Easy. So for Baltimore, the question is simple, but it's everything. Is Maxx Crosby that final piece they need to win it all? And for the Raiders, Is this the tough, painful, but necessary first step on the road to building the NFL's next great dynasty? We're not going to know the real answer for years, but one thing is absolutely certain. The balance of power in the NFL just took a massive shift.